for the second time in 5 seasons, the entire state of Wisconsin hinges on a single broken collarbone. 1,444 days after Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone on Monday Night Football in a 2013 loss to the Bears, the Packers' future Hall of Fame quarterback suffered the same injury to his other clavicle in a brutal loss to the Vikings on Sunday afternoon. The team's official Twitter account suggested Rodgers could miss the remainder of the season, but unless the Packers get lucky over the next couple of months, it might not matter. Mike McCarthy and company were able to overcome Rodgers' previous collarbone fracture and win the NFC North, although that run required several improbable twists and turns. The Lions blew a division that seemed to be theirs for the taking, as they had a comfortable advantage with tiebreakers before losing to the 2-8 Bucs at home, falling to a 61-yard game-winning field goal by Justin Tucker and blowing a fourth-quarter lead with a pick-six before losing to the 5-9 Giants in overtime. The Bears then inherited the top spot in the division and held a 28-27 lead in the fourth quarter over a returning Rodgers with 46 seconds left, only for the Chicago secondary to wildly blow its coverage on 4th and 10 and give Randall Cobb a free pass to the end zone for a division-clinching touchdown. If you're a Packers fan looking to find reasons to believe Green Bay will be able to overcome Rodgers' injury and repeat as division champions, I can find a few. For one, this injury is earlier in the season than his previous collarbone break, which came in Week 9. When I wrote about that clavicle injury, I looked at quarterbacks who went down with fractures in the past such as Troy Aikman, Elvis Grbac and Tony Romo. Since then, Romo broke his collarbone twice during the 2015 season, while Josh McCown went down with a fractured clavicle of his own last season. There are no guarantees on how quickly a collarbone will heal, and Rodgers would miss the rest of the season if he elects to have surgery. If doctors advise that Rodgers can heal with rest, though, the data points from those passers suggests Rodgers will miss between 6 and 8 weeks. The timeline would set up Rodgers to return as early as Week 12, but more likely Week 14 in Cleveland against the sputtering Browns. With what was described at the time as a small fracture of his left collarbone in 2013, Rodgers missed 7 weeks before returning for the season finale against Chicago. In the meantime, and perhaps for the remainder of the season, the Packers will turn things over to Brett Hundley, who looked overmatched against a stout Vikings defense on Sunday. In his first stretch of extended regular season action, the 2015 fifth-round pick went 18 of 33 passing for 157 yards with a touchdown, 3 interceptions and a fumble. One of those interceptions came under heavy pressure and with 18 seconds left to go in the game, but the third-year player finished with an opponent-adjusted total QBR of 16.6. I wouldn't read too much into one bad game from Hundley as a substitute, given the circumstances. It's ancient history now, of course, but when Rodgers came in for an injured Brett Favre against the Patriots in 2006, the 2005 first-round pick went 4 of 12 passing for 32 yards and broke his foot. After his first 2 seasons in the league, Rodgers was a combined 15 of 31 for 111 yards with an interception. The Packers even reportedly thought about trading Rodgers for Randy Moss before the 2007 season. We don't know much about how Hundley will perform yet. McCarthy did an excellent job of developing Rodgers into a franchise quarterback, although his work with Matt Flynn seemed to be more smoke and mirrors given Flynn's lack of success outside of Lambeau Field. Hundley's preseason numbers have been great. He has completed 66.9% of his passes, while throwing 10 touchdowns against 1 pick, but much of that came against third-stringers in 2015. Could it be someone else under center for a stretch of these games besides Hundley? While McCarthy suggested otherwise on Sunday, it's possible. The UCLA product took a brutal hit on his final interception, and there's always a concern inexperienced quarterbacks will struggle to deal with NFL pass pressure and take hits that knock them out of games solely from sheer inexperience. See Garoppolo, Jimmy. Part of the concern in losing a starting quarterback isn't just that you go from number 1 on the depth chart to number 2. It's that you may quickly end up going from number 1 to number 3. Get past the joke candidates. Brett Favre is 48 and wasn't any good the last time he suited up 7 seasons ago. Romo is 37 and hasn't thrown a pass in nearly a year. The Packers reacquired Flynn and inserted him into the lineup as a stopgap measure in 2013, but he hasn't taken an NFL snap since 2014, nor been on a roster since 2015. He's the most plausible of the totally implausible candidates.